There were demonstrations against many lockdowns, but none of them were as brave as those who defy the government of Red China.
This is China.
Shanghai! Shanghai! Shanghai!
Protests are breaking out all over the country against the CCP and their authoritarian rule. As the number of protesters grow, the CCP is worried more and more about things getting out of control. Just a few days
Interrupted for copyright reasons.
Critics aren't good. Critics say Apple has put itself in a difficult situation with an extreme dependence on China as a manufacturer and as a consumer market.
You can probably tell by now protests are picking up. But until now, they were still under control. Until the fire in Urumqi. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. This is what gave rise to the protests across the nation. This is what led to people chanting in the streets against the CCP and Xi Jinping. This is why current events are considered the most serious moment in China's history since Tiananmen Square.
Media footage.
Interrupted for copyright reasons.
Media footage from China appears to show people in the western city of Urumqi protesting against COVID restrictions. This is after a fire in a block of flats killed 10 people.
According to state media, the cause of the fire was a short circuit in the electrical panel.
Came after an apartment block fire killed 10 people.
Urumqi officials denied that COVID measures had hampered escape and rescue, but said they would investigate further.
On November 24th, 8:35 p.m., a building under this zero COVID lockdown caught on fire. Residents of the building had been locked in for more than 3 months. And when the fire started, they couldn't get out because the doors were most likely locked from the outside. On top of that, the fire department was unable to get into the compound of the building for 3 hours after the fire started because the compound was barricaded so people couldn't leave. In this clip, you can see the fire department trying to put out the fire, but water couldn't reach the building because they were so far away. It's just
Interrupted for copyright reasons.
The fire resulted in 10 people dead, including 3 children, and left 9 more hospitalized. As the news of the fire spread through the nation, protests broke out across the country. Officials tried blaming the fire victims for their deaths. They claimed
First, it's because of the Xi Jinping, the president. We should end his dictatorship because he only care about he only care about himself, his dictatorship. So this is why many people died of him.
This video contains clips from DW News, The Telegraph, and other sources. I do not own the clips that have a copyright sign on them, and I do not get money for anything in my channel.
restrictions to stop the spread. If there was even just a single positive COVID case, the CCP would lock down millions of people, shut down thousands of businesses, and implement excessive mass.
If I was a conspiracy theorist, I would believe that it's not only about Corona. But I'm not sure if I can discuss this here because it's not an official thing that the CCP has said.
Lockdown, I don't mean like a normal lockdown. No. Just like anything the CCP does, this was forceful. Apartment buildings were locked from the outside so people couldn't leave.
Definitely not normal.
Remains in lockdown. 25 million residents ordered confined to their homes.
They're using bicycle locks and padlocks just to keep people in.
You're shut in, there's like a paper.
I don't know why Xi Jinping has never mentioned that in traditional Chinese culture, white is the color of grief and also the color of death. I think it's because he's a communist. So he hasn't mentioned that the people of Shanghai and many other cities
Protesters also took to the streets in the cities of Wuhan and Chengdu on Sunday. In Beijing, small gatherings of people held peaceful vigils, while students on numerous university campuses around China gathered to demonstrate over the weekend. The protests come after a deadly apartment fire on Thursday in the country's far west, where millions of residents have been under some of the country's longest lockdowns, barred from leaving their homes for as long as 100 days. Video obtained by Reuters showed residents chanting "Lift the COVID lockdown" and arguing with guards in
13 Chinese cities and around 80 Chinese universities. By the time I finish editing this video, these numbers are likely to be
interrupted for copyright reasons.
For the CCP, government censors have been quick to block any and all news of these protests from social media. There are signal jammers following the protesters, so they can't post on the internet and communicate with other people. Websites and apps like Weibo and WeChat went dark to stop people from sharing the news about the protests.
Of Shanghai and other cities and before Hong Kong. They have shown him the color of death. They say,
共产党下台！习近平！习近平！解放新疆！解放全中国！解放全中国！解放全中国！解放全中国！
interrupted. And many of them probably simply associate the white paper with censorship. But compared to Mao's cap, the color of white probably is a lucky charm. This Pakistani, he was the president or prime minister or something of Pakistan even, has worn a Mao cap because both Pakistan and Red China have territory claims on Indian territory or something. There even is Maoism in a few parts of India. Oh, and by the way, this Pakistani got hanged. later. Look, some of the before the Tiangmen massacre, some of the demonstrants actually wore MAO caps because they wanted to criticize the party for not being MAO. Look, this is how the Tiangmen protest started out. Look, this man did not wear a MAO cap.
This is a peaceful revolutionary movement for change in China.
The following is the same footage, but from a different YouTube source.
The man was alone. The tank was not. It wasn't just a single tank he stopped. There were 18 tanks and armored carriers.
But some of the demonstrants actually wore MAO caps to criticize the Communist Party for not being MAO.
Later. There has never been a full accounting for the chaos of the Cultural Revolution or for Mao's most disastrous policy of all, the Great Leap Forward, his attempt to modernize China's economy that led to famine and, say some historians, the deaths of at least 45 million people.
Look here, oh MAO cap. If I would actually believe in the possibility of objects or symbols being cursed, I'd assume that MAO really doesn't like anyone else wearing his cap. It gave him a palace, but it didn't bring most people any luck. And honestly, some Westerners who bought such a cap in the 60s should, I don't say there's a connection between it, but they should do all of this, I think. They should throw away their drugs, they should throw away their MAO caps, and they should clean their homes. Personally, I definitely do support a TikTok boycott, but not a TikTok ban. If someone really loves TikTok, there's no need for someone doing a don't ban TikTok demonstration. Still, Congressman Matt Gaetz got my like for bringing this topic to discussion, because he supports a TikTok ban, as TikTok really is a threat for national security, especially since I do not believe that some completely ordinary person from Red China simply woke up and said, hey, today I'm gonna create a video platform that's gonna be as big as YouTube. I simply think that this needs to be discussed more. So Matt Gaetz made 1 or 2 videos about it, and they're on Facebook, and for some reason not on YouTube. And when I saw the comments, of course, someone say, America, I saw a comment that said, Matt Gaetz is a national security speech. I had replied him, but your government was not successful in making up a claim that Xinjiang and Hong Kong are a danger to the normal public of your country. What about all those cameras there? When my reply got deleted, I wrote it anew and also added, and stop censoring America's internet. It's not yours.